Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Huge shout out to all the iTrack fam tapping in, man, like you always do. Per usual, I have a handful of interesting and creepy TikToks for us to go ahead and evaluate for ourselves, whether these are fact or fake. Let's not even waste time, man. Let's get right into it.
This baby just became the first person in the world to fix their DNA through personalized gene editing. Let me explain. Scientists used a protein directed by molecules that act like GPS coordinates to search through a cell's DNA until it finds a match and then makes a cut so they can stick in new DNA. This technology is like a text editor for genes. And this baby had one tiny error in its DNA that was causing a life-threatening disorder. So they fixed that one error out of 3 billion DNA pairs. What that means is that we can now identify the genetic markers for sickle cell or Huntington's or certain cancers, and then disable or replace them. And the sickle cell example is happening with live patients right now. If you need more optimistic science and tech stories.
They got her. They got her. I bet you guys won't guess who this is. Actually, I bet you will guess that it's Kim, like I did, but it's not. It's Kim's almost 70-year-old mother, Kris Jenner. Something's going on here. This picture is from 2020. Today? How? I want to know how. Let's look at some side-by-side so you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing here. I'm kind of getting death becomes her vibes. Because how in 5 years did you age almost a decade backwards? Kris Jenner in 2022. It's like every year she's getting younger. To me, she literally looks like Kim now. It's just, how is nobody talking about this? First it was Martha Stewart, and now it's Kris Jenner. Is there something in the water? I would really like to know their secret to aging backwards. Come on, give me all your excuses in the comments section for how it is humanly possible for these celebrities to be aging backwards. Because honestly, for me, going from this to this is literally insanity.
I mean, just like we seen in the previous clip, if they're able to cut malicious genes out of your DNA, then, what's to say that 70-year-old ladies can get their groove back, man? When your bank account is on infinite and you got the best cosmetic surgeon on speed dial, that's what it looks like.
We seem to be having a gin, DJIN, invasion here in the UK. Do you know anything about it? Lots of love, Sonia.
Okay, Sonia, great question. We've talked about the fact that at lower port density, there's a lot of garbage. Okay, a lot of garbage, a lot of bad hombres, a very rough frequency, kind of like the other side of the tracks kind of frequency. You have a lot of stuck energy, consciousness, spirits, who are stuck in a victimhood thing that as we moved our frequency, we would pass through this realm of this bunch. And the idea was that we would be moving through them in soul groups. Well, what's happening is that some are moving faster than the rest of their group. And as your consciousness, as you begin to raise your frequency and move into these realms, you're going to get their attention.
So all the iTrack fam in the UK, man, basically he's saying you guys got to tiptoe around them gin now.
This is the most dangerous book in the world, and it's not just a legend. In the 8th century, a book was written that would become the most feared text in history. Its name, Al-Azif. The book was said to contain secrets of black magic so ancient, they predated humanity itself. It spoke of a jinn, a powerful otherworldly being, trapped in our world. But Al-Azif wasn't just a collection of myths. It contained detailed instructions on how to communicate with these beings. Many tried to destroy the book, but it always resurfaced, as if it had a will of its own. In the 19th century, a Yemeni poet named Hassan al-Mansur claimed to have found a copy of Al-Azif. He spent months studying its pages, learning its secrets. One night, Hassan performed a ritual described in the book. Witnesses said they heard whispers in a language no one could understand. The next morning, Hassan was gone. All that remained was his journal, filled with frantic scribbles. The last entry read, "I've seen the jinn. It showed me the truth. The book isn't just a guide, it's a prison. And now, I'm trapped too."
These are evil, evil people. You don't want to know what these people do, man.
This is Edward Reardon and his response after remote viewing Diddy.
This is stuff out of like the Aztec kingdom. You know, the Aztecs where they would have thousands of people lined up and they'd climb up the thing and they'd lay on an altar and they'd tear their heart out by a couple thousand a day. I mean, this is like that level of evil.
Who is the most powerful person in America?
Oh, I don't think anybody would probably know their name. You know, they're sort of behind the scenes. But certainly people on this committee, like Admiral Wilson, he was Deputy Director of CIA, then he was the Director of the National Security Agency, then he moved on to the board of, wait for it, Science Applications International Corporation.
Who's this?
Admiral Bobby Randman. So that's where the action is. I think the center of gravity isn't in the government at all.
Was Mr. Bush Sr. ever one of these high-ranking people that was on the inside, or no?
Oh, absolutely. George H.W. Bush?
Yes.
Yes, W, no. But George H.W. Bush, he was the one who threatened Bill Clinton. But stay quiet, there's none of your business. I have a witness to Mr. Clinton sharing that.
George H.W. Bush Sr.
Yes, this is none of your business, butt out. Because Mr. Clinton had stood up what's called Red Team. Red Team was a military special operation the blue team was conventional military, black team were these illegal operations. Clinton had authorized, I have a whole document on this, and these were people trying to infiltrate these illegal black projects, but most of them either got absorbed or killed. And eventually, George H.W. Bush said, back off. This is none of your business.
Did he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely he did. That's why they became fast friends.
Oh, listen to this.
As a scientist, do you believe in God?
Every description of God that I've heard holds God to be all-powerful and all good. And then I look around and I see a tsunami that killed 250,000 people in Indonesia. If there is a God, the God is either not all-powerful or not all good.
I came from China as an atheist. I believed nothing but science. I was studying the structure of eye in med school, and I realized that the human eye is so complicated. Trillions of cells has to line up perfectly for visual signal capturing and interpretation. If any one of those cells gets out of line, the person will be born blind. So I had a big problem. And the atheist me at the time, that how could so many cells form in such a short period of time out of randomness? So I kept on asking a professor, and he said, "Man, what's a cross street?" I said, that's a car. He said, "What's the difference between a car and a human eye?" I said, "Human eye is a lot more complicated." He said, "Okay, can you imagine how random pieces of metal form itself into a car?" I said, "No way." And he said, "How about human eye?" So right there, he opened a window in my life, making me realize that it was formed with a specific purpose for vision. So there's a designer, a creator behind that.
There are two questions I have to ask.
Go ahead.
The first one's kind of fun. Aliens. I want to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
a little fatter.
But these are perfect people.
Okay,
and they're not
crazy.
Conspiratorial. They're not crazy. Yeah. And they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, "Gee, oh, that's okay."
Way. President of the United States.
But
I said,
who is it? Silent? That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay, handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane, and I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there. And, you know, if you go to Nevada and you look at that little section of where they go to look at the aliens, where they think all the aliens are landing, that, you know, it's I think it's maybe the number one tourist attraction in the United States.
Roswell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roswell. I think it's the number one. It's the lines of people waiting. You have no idea how many times I'm asked that question.
But don't you have access to that information?
I have access, and I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it, and they will tell you there's something going on. When they say things are going 4 times faster than my beautiful top-of-the-line airplane that goes, you know, real fast.
With no identifiable propulsion
Mach
system.
2,
Yeah.
right?
These things are creating their own gravity fields, allegedly.
Well, they have people that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something out there. And, you know, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. You know, I just, for some reason, it's not my thing. But a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
What? And
I know there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of that.
You know what? Despite all the stories he's heard, and he still doesn't believe, it makes you think, like, I don't think he would lie. I don't think he cares enough to lie about it. I think if he knew something, he would just say, I can't talk about it. But I don't know. That's an interesting topic. The fact that he feels no way about it. Let me know what you think.
I stopped saying we believe in God too. Why? That ain't good to say.
Why?
Because when you say you believe, that leave room for doubt. Either you know it or you don't.
Oh no, I
so you know it. Ain't no I believe, I know.
I mean, but at the end of the day, you got people that don't believe.
I don't believe in nothing. I know some things.
Oh, I know some things too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I'm trying to tell y'all, people ain't know the Titanic sunk on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know, and they monetized.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say it's so much hidden knowledge, and people caught flack when I said this, but a lot of people liked it when I said that if the regurgitated version of the Bible that they gave us today helped black people or any people get out of their current situation, they would have never introduced it to us, which is true.
Right.
Because the Vatican has so much, like books, all type of architect. They have real knowledge that a lot of people ain't even ready for, but they give us this.
Right.
Anytime your enemy gives you something, it's not for your use, bro.
They gave us shackles.
That's all it is.
Wow.
And see, listen, the Bible, like I say, the Bible is what keep broke people from killing rich people.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? That's the glue. You see what I'm saying?
What?
It's a belief system, bro. Everything is built around belief system.
What happened to this man is arguably one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. This is known as the 1,000-yard stare, and yes, all these photos are 100% real. These photos mainly occurring during World War I and II, but there is more recent examples, of course. Known as the 1,000-yard stare because of what their eyes are saying, you may also know this in forms of shell shock. Now, what actually causes this is seeing something very sudden and extremely traumatic, such as in the war, where you may see people dying right in front of you, or traumatic events that you wouldn't even be able to repeat. Essentially being in an emotional shock that puts your body into this state where you can barely function. You've probably heard stories back in the wars of shell shock victims and how they were treated so badly as well, because we didn't really know that much about mental health and what to actually do with these people. We'd never really seen anything like it before. Nowadays there's a lot more treatment for this, so people can get the help they need. It's still absolutely horrendous and can leave people in ways like this, causing many physical effects such as headache, confusion, dizziness, falling all over the place, stuttering of words, insomnia, extreme anxiety, and sometimes even paralysis. So if you ever see a video of someone like this, just imagine what they're going through.
This man talked to a real-life alien and got it all on camera.
In a leaked video that emerged on the internet, an alleged encounter between a man and an extraterrestrial being took place at an undisclosed location within a secret base in the United States.
This has got to be the realest footage I've ever seen before. The realest looking.
The video's quality, the specific surroundings remain unidentified. It is believed that this encounter took place in 2017, although no official confirmation from the government has been provided. The video begins with a man standing a short distance away from what appears to be an extraterrestrial being, commonly referred to as a gray. Both individuals face each other and maintain eye contact for several moments. The extraterrestrials' physical features resemble typical depictions of greys: a hairless, pale grayish skin tone, large dark eyes, and a slight frame. The man remains calm throughout the encounter, showing no signs of distress or fear. Their interaction appears to be nonverbal, as no audible communication is captured in the leaked video. Despite this, their body language seems engaged and focused. The man and the extraterrestrial being exchange glances, perhaps attempting to convey meaning or understanding to one another. It is worth noting that any interpretation of their interaction remains speculative due to the lack of context provided. After a brief period of visual engagement, the man and the extraterrestrial reach out and...
If this isn't real, this is some of the best CGI I've ever seen. Let me know what you think in the comments and stay weird.
We are the first species.
Pay attention, people. Pay attention.
To be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight. We are.
I know my ears must have deceived me, man, because I just heard her say that babies we eat. Was that a glitch in the Matrix? What's really going on?
Truth you better wake up and find out has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it. Example, Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John Kennedy was elected to Congress 1946. Abe Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John Kennedy was elected president 1960. The names Lincoln and Kennedy both contain 7 letters. Both presidents were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both of the presidents' wives lost children while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday in the head. President Lincoln's secretary was named Miss Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Miss Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, in 1939. Both assassins were known by 3 names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. President Lincoln was shot in a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car named Lincoln, made by Ford. John Wilkes Booth ran to a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Booth and Oswald were both assassinated before they could go to trial. And a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe.
This is the Vatican's darkest secret, and it's already in motion. Deep beneath the Apostolic Palace, in a chamber sealed since the 15th century, there is a book bound in human skin. Its pages contain the true deaths of every pope in history, not as the world knows them, but as fate has decreed. The book is called Liber Mortis Pontificum, the Book of Pontifical Death. Each page darkens as a pope's reign begins, slowly filling with ink that forms an image of their demise. John Paul II's page showed a bed, wreathed in light. Others are grotesque. Pope John the 21st page depicted a collapsing ceiling long before it crushed him in 1277. Pope Francis' page has been shifting for years. At first it showed an old man in a white robe, kneeling in prayer. But in 2025, something changed. The image began to move. Now it shows Francis clutching his chest. Behind him, the Vatican collapses into the earth. At the bottom of the page, a line of text has appeared. Ultimus finis venit, the final end comes. But the true horror lies on the next page. It belongs to the 267th Pope, the last one. The page isn't blank, it's already complete. The image is a screaming figure in papal robes, half submerged in black water, as a burning city sinks beneath the waves. The date beneath it is clear: October 11th, 2026. A Vatican archivist who leaked the images claims the book is writing itself faster now, as if rushing toward an inevitable conclusion.
The Galactic Federation has confirmed they have finalized preparations to begin revealing themselves. Start looking up. March 2025, we will begin seeing them with more detail. And news outlets will begin to report of the crafts in our skies.
Yeah, it's got the best fucking
Ian, what the is that? Holy shit. What the is it chasing?
FAA has placed a temporary restriction on drone flights over Picatinny Arsenal and over Trump National Golf Course in Bedminster. When these drones were first spotted 2 weeks ago, the Morris County Prosecutor's Office said that they posed no known threat to public safety. But people want to know, what the heck are they and what are they doing? It's normal to see red and green lights unless they're coming from mysterious drones in the night sky.
It's kind of unsettling. Size of a car.
Mike Walsh says he's seen hundreds of them and has the video to prove it. Morristown police sent an alert to residents Sunday and that if a drone crashes or lands, do not approach or handle it. The FBI's Newark field office would only say it is working with other law enforcement agencies to figure out what's going on, but at the moment doesn't have enough information to share.
A lot of people want to know what's going on. I think more people are coming around to that.
30 and 10:30, they're out here. Nobody ever sees them during the day.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories or follow us on social media.
Had the opportunity over the years to interview, again, people who have worked at the test site at Groom Lake. One gentleman spent 12 of his 30 years in black programs at Groom Lake. When I asked him, I said, first of all, I said, do you believe in UFOs? And he looked at me with a straight face in one-on-one. He said, absolutely, positively, they do exist. So can you expand upon that? I said, no, I can't.
Everybody, so here's a strange one. Sometimes security cameras catch things that are easily explainable, but sometimes they don't. This might be one of those times. So this footage was captured on February 6, 2025 on a farm in El Salvador. A shadowy figure moves from left to right, and almost instantly you'll see the dogs react, like they sense something that we can't see. Watch closely. Now, skeptics might say this is just a trick of the light, but what if it's not? So you'll remember last year, whistleblowers like David Grush and lawmakers like Anna Paulina Luna spoke publicly about interdimensional beings. Could this be evidence of something beyond our visible reality? What do you think? Is it a glitch, a shadow, or is it something else? So drop your theories below. Let's try and figure this out.
Oh my god, oh my god. Look, you guys.
Tôi lên thêm chưa?
Dạ mà cha, xe nó biết chuối.
Đi lên xe gì đâu mà. Xe gì biết chứ. Cái luôn nè. Cô tôi luôn à. Máu mà biêu. Nó con nó lên lên đầu á đi không lên. Hả? Cô lao cái chuồng này chưa cô lao ạ. Cô lao một dao chưa? Tôi lên thêm chưa?
Dạ mà cha, xe nó biết chuối.
I ain't gonna lie, that did look creepy. And if it was CGI, they did a great job. But let me know what you think.
This is a hologram of matter. This is a holographic 15-dimensional time matrix. When we talk about different universes, they're holographic universes. All of this is a hologram. Not outside. This is outside. You see the 15? It ends right there. The time matrix ends. And so outside is the cosmos fields, which is, you see, 3 levels of cosmos. Cosmos is obviously bigger than universes. This is what's important to understand. How part of God, you could say, is distorted. How part of God can become shadow. Some people use the word evil.
So I know everyone's on the Diddy case right now, but does anybody realize that CERN, the Hadron Collider, just alchemized lead into gold? Gold. That's a big deal.
Okay, so I've been baffled as to why I was told from the 14th of March to tell all of my friends and family that I care about to cover their mouth when they go outside. But now we know. So there is a airborne fungi, okay, that is deadly. Okay, straight out of the film The Last of Us, which I've never watched, but from the title, I'm guessing that it's bad. So apparently the reason why it is spreading now is because of rising temperatures around the globe. But my question is, why hasn't it travelled in the hotter countries before? Why are we just hearing about it now? So it's called Aspergillus or something like that. I don't really mind about butchering a deadly mold's name. But yeah, it's called Aspergillus, and it gives serious respiratory and brain issues. This fungi is not fun at all. Now apparently, it's the temperatures in the UK that are allowing the Aspergillus to spread. The temperatures, not anybody else, okay? Not like COVID. So apparently, this fungi that is not fun at all is going to affect people that already have respiratory issues. So people that have asthma, that kind of thing. But the people that had the, yeah, you're yeah, definitely. Because a lot of you have been left with respiratory issues. It almost seems like this fun guy has come to finish off the job that didn't. But anywho, entertainment purposes only, but this is happening. So this is the part that's really getting me. These spores apparently can be delivered to your door. And that's what it says in the article you'll see. So they can travel across vast distances. And a university in Geneva stated that it can survive the stratosphere, which is an area 10 kilometers above the Earth's surface. So, yeah. So these spores can travel across continents without an airplane, without a boat, without anything. They can travel across continents. They've never done it before, but they seem to be doing it now, okay?
In the world of government conspiracies, few stories are as shocking as Phil Schneider's. Born in 1947, Schneider claimed to be a geologist and engineer who worked on something truly extraordinary. Deep underground military bases, or DUMBs, for the US government. But it was what allegedly happened in August 1979 that would change everything. While working on a base beneath Dulce, New Mexico, Schneider claimed his drilling team accidentally broke into an underground cavern, occupied by extraterrestrials. What followed, according to Schneider, was a violent firefight between humans and gray aliens. Schneider himself was allegedly hit by an alien weapon, losing several fingers and suffering a chest wound, as one of only 3 survivors. Schneider claimed this underground base was part of a vast network, where the government conducted secret experiments with alien technology. He further alleged that gray aliens were controlling world leaders. After going public with his claims in the 1990s, Schneider survived 13 attempts aimed at ending his lectures. During one of his final appearances, Phil stated,
"I might live 6 months, I might not."
6 months later, in 1996, Phil Schneider's lectures came to an end. Official documents declared he ended them on his own, but his supporters believe he was silenced for revealing forbidden secrets.
Any storybook that I can remember in school, witches were bad.
Yeah, that's what they teach you. So you don't tap into your power. Why would I tell you that I'm doing a spell on you? I'm going to tell you that spells are bad so that I can do it on you. That's how I feel like society manipulates people, because it's been sensationalized. Like, oh, witchcraft is bad, witchcraft is this, but they're doing witchcraft on you. So yeah, we're all under spell.
Explain that. Who is who?
The government.
The government's doing witchcraft on people.
Yeah, our money has sigils on it. If you look at the dollar First of all, it's a dead president on it. It's an ancestor. Okay. Off the rip, right? So when you look at the different pyramids and certain lines and how they print their money, it's all a spell. It's all a ritual, right? So every time you touch money, even psychologically, when you're thinking about money, it is all outlined to you. Subliminal, everything. Everything you watch is subliminal when you think about it. Your music is subliminal. You know, the 808s, all the beats, everything. They are 100% controlling us. Yes. So if you know that you're being controlled, now you can't be controlled anymore. But if you don't know, they can continue to control you. And that's what's happening to everyone.
Why do cats have snake eyes when big cats don't? Buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see your cat forever. Cats weren't just worshipped by the ancient Egyptians because they were cute or good luck. No. What if I told you they were worshipped because they hold the key to one of the greatest conspiracies of all time? A mind control conspiracy that spans millennia. And it's happening right now, even to you. None of the big cats, like lions or tigers, have those slitted pupils. So why do house cats, the small ones, have reptilian eyes like snakes, creatures that ancient cultures also worshipped? This wasn't just a coincidence. In fact, what if those ancient Egyptians knew something about cats that we've forgotten, something much darker? There's this little parasite called T. gondii, and he's the most successful parasite on the planet. 1 to 2/3 of humans are infected. Yeah, that means it's highly likely you've already got it right now. But here's the kicker. This parasite can live in many hosts, like rats or even humans, but it can only complete its life cycle in one animal, cats. That's right, your cat is the final destination for this mind-controlling parasite. And get this, it actually rewires the brains of its hosts to make them behave recklessly. Rats, for example, lose their fear of cats when they're infected, practically walking right into the cat's mouth. But what does this have to do with humans? Well, studies suggest that T. gondii doesn't just affect rats, it can manipulate human behavior too, causing increased sensation seeking and addiction. And ever wonder why people become so weirdly obsessed with cats? What if it's not just because they're cute? What if it's because this parasite has subtly been influencing human behavior for thousands of years? Why have cat videos always been a part of viral internet media? Remember, ancient Egyptians didn't just keep cats around, they worshipped them. Maybe they were onto something, or maybe they were under the influence of something they couldn't see. But here's where things get really wild. You've heard about, in Egypt, they had Bastet, a goddess with the head of a cat. But what if the cat wasn't just symbolic? What if those ancient Egyptians knew that cats weren't just ordinary animals? Black cats in particular were seen as sacred. And here's the real conspiracy. What if black cats aren't just cats at all? What if they're interdimensional beings slipping into our reality from other dimensions, taking the form of sleek, silent felines? Why else do we associate black cats with witches? There have been countless reports of shadowy figures in the form of black cats appearing in paranormal encounters. And what if parasites are the physical hosts for demons? So, the next time your cat stares at you with those snake eyes, just remember, it's not just a pet. It's a part of something much bigger, something ancient, something that might just be controlling you in ways you can't even imagine. And maybe, just maybe, that purring on your lap isn't as innocent as it seems.
I listen to a lot of things. First, I want to connect some dots here because they are connected, okay? When Donald Trump was on the Joe Rogan podcast, they had a conversation about aliens. Not the ones Trump wants to deport, okay? The ones from other planets. Let's listen.
There's a lot of interest in it.
One of the things that
There's a lot of interest in the people coming from space, you know.
Yes.
And I know you're interested in that.
Oh, very interested in that. How much did they tell you about that?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd they tell you?
Well, it's never been my thing, I have to be honest. I interviewed jet pilots that say they saw something. And they said, we saw things, sir, that were very strange. Like a round ball, but it wasn't a comet or a meteor. It was something. And it was going 4 times faster than an F-22, which is a very fast plane, you know.
That's dot one. where there's a man named Cliff High. You should Google Cliff High. He is a researcher known for developing a technique called predictive linguistics, which involves analyzing internet data to predict future events. And based off that conversation with President Trump and Joe Rogan, he predicted a future event. Let's listen.
But what we do have some justification for suggesting is that there will be 39 days between the temporal marker of the Trump interview and the appearance of this visible contention. The visible contention, space aliens. Okay, so
what happened?
Sort of very complex kind of Independence Day kind of shit, right? Nobody will know who the hell is doing what with whom. Now, so anyway, now we have a strange thing where there's swarms of 20-foot drones flying around military bases. So unknown. Nobody knows who owns these drones, who's controlling them. At least they're not telling us guys.
Now, my whole life, 1 + 1 has equaled 2. But then I heard Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan, and regardless of what he thinks about math, 1 + 1 still equals 2. Trump and Rogan had this conversation. Cliff High, who previously predicted the 2004 Indonesian tsunami, stated that an alien invasion will be triggered 39 days after Trump's appearance on Joe Rogan. Trump's interview took place on October 25th, 2004, marking the start of the countdown. We first started seeing these SUV-sized drones on December 3rd. Either we are in the midst of one of the greatest social experiments of all time, one of the greatest pranks of all time, or we being invaded by aliens. Okay, according to Cliff High, the alien invasion will involve air battles between UFOs and military forces, with UFOs even engaging in combat among themselves. Listen, I don't know what's happening. I just know that White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby is telling us these SUV-sized drones are manned aircraft. It's not one, it's not two, it's not several, it's a lot of them. One of my peoples in Jersey sent me a video last night of 8 of them over her neighborhood. If this is manned aircraft, then whose mans is this? Okay, who are these men? Are they little and green? And why are we okay with what's happening? Kirby, your statement didn't answer any questions. For me, it raised even more because I'm a common sense purist. This is what happens when they keep us looking down at our phones. We are slaves to the lies that our smartphones tell us, and it causes us to ignore the realities all around us. You can call people like Cliff High crazy. You can call them a conspiracy theorist, but I don't see it being a coincidence that he predicted an alien invasion would happen 39 days after Trump's appearance on Joe Rogan, when they was on there talking about aliens, and then all of a sudden flying SUVs are all over New Jersey. Why are they just flying over our residential areas? What if they crash into our houses? What's the mission? Is this even lawful? Why wasn't the public informed about these operations ahead of time? Look, man, American government, it's okay to be honest with the American people. Just admit either you don't know what's going on up there, or you do, and it's not something you want us to know about. Because all Black Twitter gonna do is make jokes anyway. Okay, the American people are not going to care unless you tell us it's the Kardashians and Taylor Swift up there driving one of those SUV-sized drones. Look, we can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. I don't know what reality currently is, and I don't know what the consequences of avoiding it will be. But I just want us to be aware of what our current reality truly is. Please give White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby the biggest hee-haw.
Hey, now Charlemagne spoke nothing but truth about that. You know, got us staring down at our phones, but we got to look up sometimes because it's a lot going down. And another great point was either we're in the middle of the greatest social experiment or we're really being invaded, and it's like real low key. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button. Join iTrack fam, man. It helps the channel out, gets us deeper in this algorithm so more people get a chance to see what's going on and evaluate these videos as well. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.